I'm so excited to see you tonight.
First date, baby. First date, I can't wait. First date.
Hi, you guys. I was just talking. Welcome to the very first episode of First Date, back from my pregnancy. I have a very special guest on today. She's a female comic. She's touring all over the country. Give it up for Katherine Blanford.
Yay! Thank you.
I didn't shout out your stand-up special, Catholic Cowgirl, on YouTube. I didn't read your bio on the screen. I've really been way too busy talking to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I
don't read it.
Okay.
I hate credits.
How is it going though?
What, the special?
Yeah.
Fine. People do think that it is religious. And it certainly is not. So I've gotten a lot of comments like, you're damned to hell, like turn to God. But I'm like, you should know that from the first glance of it. I got tight little red leather pants on and I put a horse on stage.
Yeah. Is it an hour long?
Yeah, 52 minutes. It's an hour.
That's an hour. We round up.
Yeah. It's an hour. And if I ever do a special again, I'm going to crash diet like that again.
Did you crash diet?
Yeah.
That's
you know
okay.
what I did? I stopped drinking for 2 months.
That's even harder than crash dieting.
I know. I don't need chips, but I need a glass of wine.
How much weight did you lose with no alcohol in 2 months?
Probably like 8 pounds.
That's
and it,
a lot.
It deflates you though.
Because it's inflammatory when you drink.
Yes. But are you drinking again?
No.
Are you never going to again?
I can't say I'm never going to again, but I don't miss it.
Yeah, I haven't been drinking as much. I've mushroomed now. Have you ever mushroomed?
I can't. I've talked about this before. I can't do drugs. If I do mushrooms, I like shake and I vomit.
Yeah.
If I smoke weed, I like shut down.
Yeah.
I'm a not fun drug person.
I think I'm like that with weed. I can't do weed. I'm not fun with weed. I'm not having fun. But mushrooms.
You like them?
I think everybody can find, or not, they could do nothing, but like things are good for certain people.
Okay, but are you microdosing or are you having like real journeys?
No idea. It's different every time. You know what's fun? I never purchase it. I just take whatever somebody puts in my hand and I go, we'll see how the night goes.
So you have friends that do mushrooms?
Yes. And sometimes I forget about it. I don't even remember I did it.
Do you ever?
Some nights it hits you when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're like, whoa. But it's
Doesn't
an
face
upper.
and their head like change? Like I experienced hallucinations when I did mushrooms.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think I've taken so much that happens.
Maybe that's why I don't like them.
Because you're doing too much.
Probably.
Why is anyone giving you that much?
Well, I volunteer myself to take that much.
Okay. Yeah. See, I'm not like, I think people are like, here, let's give her a little so she goes away.
We're going to start off with some appetizer questions. Are you dating anybody right now?
No, this is the first time I've actually been single in a long time. I was in like a 4.5-year relationship when I was in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Started comedy in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta. And then stuff started popping off and I sold my soul. And I told the guy I was living with, like, I'm going to LA, but we like continued to date. And I would just go back to Atlanta and visit him.
And you were with him for over 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, like lived together.
He didn't want to go with you?
No. I mean, has a family in Georgia, had a house, you know, it was really hard. I think I probably should have broken up with him like a year sooner, but he had a hot tub on a deck. And he lived in the suburbs and it was kind of woodsy in the back. And I was like, when else am I going to be able to get into a hot tub on a deck in the woods?
Yeah. So
in LA, it's never going to happen. So I hung on to it.
You were invested in the hot tub.
Dude, if you get a hot tub, a girl's going to hang on. If you get a personal hot tub.
I feel like, have you ever, so you stayed in a relationship Because were you happy in this relationship?
Yes.
You were happier in the hot tub.
I was happier in the hot tub. You know what? When I was in Atlanta, it was fun and safe, and he's a good guy. But you know what happened was then I moved up to LA, and then my career kind of was like popping off, and I started to meet people in LA, and then was kind of exposed to like more, and I mean this in the best way, like freaks and like different like walks of life than I really hung out with in Georgia. And I was like, I think I want to explore a lot more.
How long ago was this?
We broke up April 2024.
Okay. And you've been single since then?
Yeah, but I have this like problem where I love to fall in love for 2 months.
That's not a problem.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I think I have a dopamine hit. Like I find somebody and I'm like, oh, I'm obsessed with you for 2 months. But I've been telling people like I'm gonna get an ick and be over you.
What is your biggest ick?
Lately, it's been I like if you're really bad at communication, that's horrible. Mm-hmm. But if you're over communicative, I loathe that. I don't want to talk for 2 hours on the phone every day.
Yeah.
You know, I need to call you, but then when I pick up the phone, we chat for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's it. But I think that, and then my other biggest ick, I found it's LA a lot, and I've been dating a lot of musicians. Have you ever noticed like somebody that uses a lot of therapy jargon at you? And they're always like, you're this, you're this, you're this. And you're like, I feel...
Are they projecting?
Yeah, I'm like, but you just did a line of coke and you have a face tattoo. You can't tell me I'm a narcissist. It's 11 a.m.
Why are you dating people with face tattoos?
It's so fun. That's my new obsession. Face tattoos, hand tattoos, scalp tattoos.
Yikes.
Like a tattoo that you notice because the wind blows and their hair gets parted in a weird way.
Yeah.
And you realize like they have like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
In their calic. I love that.
You know, I feel like so I just had a son, and I feel like if my son ever got a face tattoo, I'd be so pissed off because I'd be like, I breastfed you when I should have just given you formula.
That's so true. It's so true.
It's like...
He probably won't. That's a gateway drug. Formula to face tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean...
Like, I could have eaten a lot of raw fish when I was pregnant.
Yeah. The
things that I did that I have done for him to be like together. But
you're gonna have your child is gonna be together. Like your son is gonna be,
knock on wood,
full. You know, I can already tell. Like I can tell. Like these are like.
What kind of trauma do these guys with face tattoos tell you about? Like what's going down in their life?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of you know what? It's very, I don't even think Christian is the word. Very like religious upbringings. That's been a few of them recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they kind of rebel. But it's like the religious upbringings where there's no sense of self. You know what I mean? Where they're like, like nobody's going like, hey, are you going through something? Let's talk about it. It's like, hey, I hear you're going through something. Turn to the Lord and pray and kneel and beg for forgiveness.
Yeah.
So there's no actual like self therapy going on.
Yeah.
So then they go the opposite direction later in life.
So you said these guys were like mostly musicians? Yeah. Is there a specific instrument that you find yourself gravitating towards? Like the guitarist or the drummer or the singer?
Yeah, it's gotta be the singer.
The lead man.
I think my instrument is lead.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would be too. It's like,
yeah.
Why are we going for the Ringo Starr?
Yeah. I'm like, well, because I'm a comic. Like I write my material.
Yeah.
I want to talk to somebody who writes, and who is the lead. Like I'm not.
Are they taking you on romantic dates?
Also what I love is a secret getaway get together. like romantic dates, but I'm like, if we know kind of the same people and we're like, we can't let people know that we're doing this.
Okay.
We go to a different city or we meet up in a city. Like if we're both touring and we have to be secretive about it. Love that.
That is fun.
It is fun. I think I'm in a very traumatic part of dating right now, but I'm like, it's okay.
It sounds like you're having fun, though.
I'm having so much fun.
And after a 4-year relationship, you deserve to have fun.
Yeah, and like explore.
Yeah.
You almost like, maybe I should date some toxic people to recognize it.
Well, you don't even have to date toxic people. I think just dating a variety of people, different people, different walks of life is really good to just, I don't know, exercise your freedom.
Yeah, I agree. Because then you're kind of like, well, you learn. Because at first when you like kind of date these people, you don't know really what the signs are, and you don't, and like I'm kind of a people pleaser, so I'll kind of put up with stuff till I don't put up with it. So it's kind of good to date these people so you get over putting up with it.
Let's get into our main course questions. Does dating a bunch of different people for 2 months at a time ever make you worried that you're not going to find the one because you're in this mode of hopping around?
Yeah, I had this conversation with some comics yesterday, though. Guys, one is in like 10-year relationship, married, about to have a baby. Another one's like a younger comic, but he really likes this girl he's dating. And I was like, I think for me, I'll probably be in relationships that fit that chapter of my life for the rest of my life. Like, I don't think I'll ever be in one relationship. I don't think I'll ever find a soulmate and then it'll be for the rest of my life. But
really?
I'm like, yeah, but they were like torn up about it too. And I was like, no, you guys are saying that, like, you're thinking I'm saying that because I'm sad. Like, I feel very comfortable and healthy, and that feels good to me. Because I feel like we're different people. You were different in your 20s than your 30s. People are different in their 40s and 50s. And I'm like, why not find somebody that matches who you are at that point in your life and helps you grow and be a better person in your life? But what happens if you guys then grow into different people? Are you going to stay in a miserable relationship just because society's told us you should stick together? Or like, what if then you separate in a healthy way and then you go find other people that are healthy for you in that next chapter in life?
Yeah.
So I feel like, and my life is so, I'm gone every weekend, and I love that. I love my independence. I love, like I was supposed to be home 2 days ago, and now I'm like here, and I'm still not going home. I'm going somewhere else afterwards. I love that I have this independence, and I love traveling and having, and being able to like throw my life into my career. And I feel like that probably means that if I ever find like a partner, they're going to have to be super independent as well. And like those kind of people tend to be okay with like letting go when it's not right anymore. Instead of like very dependent people who have to like, both of them have to be anchors of their lives together. So I think it's like a nature of the business kind of thing. Yeah. But I'm like okay with it. I don't know if it's because I, watched parents who weren't in happy relationships or watched other people who weren't in happy marriages.
Did your parents get divorced?
No. You know what I know? I wonder if it is too. They didn't get divorced, but my mom passed away. I was 22. She was like 7 days into being 51 years old when she passed. But they definitely were not in a happy relationship by any means. So I wonder too if it's because it was like very hard for me. We were very close. She was my favorite person in the entire world. So I very much grieved it for a long time. And now I'm on the other side of grief. You still feel it now and then, but like I'm understand loss and like grief. And I understand that there's a life on the other end of it that can be very beautiful because you have experienced grief. So I'm like, maybe I just am okay and comfortable with loss.
Yeah. When I started this podcast, it felt really intimidating. Setup, filming, schedule, logos. It was super overwhelming. And every day seemed to introduce a new decision that needed an answer. When you're starting off with something new, it seems like your to-do list keeps growing every day with new tasks, and that list can easily begin to overrun your life. Finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything can be such a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Shopify has a ton of helpful tools like design templates, AI content creation, marketing, and inventory resources. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/date. Go to shopify.com/date. Shopify.com/date. I feel like, though, how people change in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and stuff. Yeah. I feel like you change the most from 20s to 30s. I feel like there's a lot that happens in those 20 years because you go from high school to college to the real world. You go from like 20 to 21. You hit your 30s. Then your mid 30s. And then by the end of that, you're kind of an adult.
Yeah, I think. And then the next shift is menopause.
hold your boat. That happens like hopefully, I don't know, in your 50s. Like when you're starting to get into your 50s. Yeah, that's a midlife crisis, and you just go and you buy wildly expensive things that you probably can't afford, and you justify
go to a villa
it.
in Italy.
Yeah, that's when you like do stuff like that. But when it comes to relationships, I think that I had a friend that was very into like the same mentality that you are and the way that you rationalize age and when people grow apart. But I think that also part of a relationship when it's working out is learning how to work things out and grow together. But I realize that not everyone can do that. Some people just change so much that they're no longer a good fit in their relationship.
Yeah, and I don't mean like this 2-month thing is because I'm having fun. I'm like, I could see 10, 12-year marriages and then like that ending.
Yeah.
And then like maybe you find somebody else for the next 10 years.
I feel like those end because people cheat. People are assholes and they just
get over each other.
Communication just falls like through the floor.
Yeah, there's like a spark that just can't come back. I think some people can come back, but I'm also just like, I love change and like growing. So I'm just like, wouldn't it be exciting to like find somebody new? You know that like butterfly feeling when you find somebody?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might just be addicted to that.
I mean,
and I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I feel like there's people that's, or I'm just like, if people had more of that mentality, they wouldn't be so hurt.
Yeah. You're also big city now.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people with small town vibes are usually the ones that lock it down a little too soon.
Yes.
And they don't get out and experience real life.
That makes me so sad. I went to school at the University of South Carolina and like started to go to friends' weddings like 26, 27. And I was just like, like they were dating all of college.
Yeah.
And everything. And I'm like, get out there. Explore. Go get some wounds. Get some diseases. You know?
Yeah. Do you have pets?
No, I had a dog with him, the Georgia guy, but that was also probably why I stayed longer than I should have, because I loved my dog so much. Yeah.
So you had a dog in a hot tub.
Dog in a hot tub. And
imagine if you got a dog in a hot tub.
I know, but I'm on the road 50 days a month.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do? I would like to eventually. I think at that point it's just a money thing. Like, you know, and I'm like, I have to be selling out at clubs before I can be like, guys, will you hold my dog while I'm on stage?
Yeah.
Like, I can't have half the room be couponed and then be like, will you hold my dog while I'm on stage? They'll be like, bitch.
Have you ever gone on a date with a guy and he's tried to like out funny you? Like you sort of
all the freaking time. It's
dude,
so annoying.
why is that?
because guys have to be the alpha and everything. And so if you're like the clearly like funny, more outwardly presenting, like skilled person,
Yeah.
I feel like they have to.
It's so
They have to
obvious
outshine that.
when a guy does that. Like,
So annoying, and it'll never permeate in their brain what they're doing. They don't understand it.
They just think that they're out with a comic
Yeah,
and you're hot
Yeah.
and you're funny. And so they feel like they have to put on this persona to like connect with you.
yes, and also then they're so defensive of everything you say. I hate telling people I'm a comedian, because then when you do that and then you're just yourself, but you enjoy riffing or making jokes or whatever else, they'll go, oh, you made a joke. Oh, you trying to be funny now? And it's like, if you didn't know that about me, you would just enjoy me.
Yeah.
It's just all of a sudden like, are you trying to be better than me now? It's like, no, I'm just myself. And that's your insecurity screaming. It is so infuriating.
You know, when you do stand up and you bomb, you know you're bombing.
Yes.
On a date, the guys don't know
No idea.
that they're bombing. And I wish that they knew what that felt like.
Yes. Maybe that's why I like musicians. Because it's not a comic, but it's somebody who has been humiliated a lot on stage. And
Yeah.
So they kind of like are like, we'll respect yours because we're just begging for somebody to respect. We're just hoping my dad thinks it's cool that I'm a musician too. But yeah, it's like, and the dad jokes and the like horrible humor that guys have that they think is on par with what you're doing
Yeah.
is insulting. Insulting. Like run across the room because they remembered a streak joke that they have to tell you. And then the fake, I've gotten so good at fake laughing. Just so I don't feel awkward in the room because it's only us two.
Yeah.
And like, I'd rather, that's the other thing is like with this, also like you're in green rooms with other guy comics all the time. So you're around funny guys all the time. So it is kind of painful to be around a guy that like
Is trying to be funny.
don't
Don't you just want you also just want someone like authentically themselves to
Yes.
get to know.
Yes.
That was really hard for me when I was dating, finding someone that was just cool.
And confident with themselves.
Yeah.
You know, like they can just be themselves. They're not like did you ever notice when you were dating, would they see you with other guys and be nervous or insecure because they knew you were kind of just this known person that other people wanted to impress?
I never dated a lot. I've only dated like a handful of people.
Yeah.
Because I've never really been single for long.
Okay.
I was like a relationship hopper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was a stint of time where I dated people for like 3 or 4 months or 6 months. Mm-hmm, and I had that for like, I would say a year and a half. So I dated like 4 people in a year and a half, but I liked them all. But like one died.
What?
One lived in London. One was like, one just sucked. And then I found the one after that.
It's like you're dating male American Boy dolls.
Don't say that.
One died of the plague. One lived in London.
They
One
were all
was on the
very
Oregon
different.
Trail. They all have background stories.
I feel like I like the one on the Oregon Trail.
That one would be if they survive the Oregon Trail. That's a strong.
Did you ever
mate.
play that game, that computer game?
I've talked about it. I talked about it in this hour. I talked about it in my last hour.
Really?
I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. I love the storyline, like the fact that like you could die from a mosquito bite. You never know. Life is precious. That was our religion growing up. Was Oregon Trail. That's how we learned how precious life could be.
The Oregon Trail and AOL. Those
AOL.
two things.
That's, you were never more present than watching that dial up.
Dude, when someone signed on, that like I would have a crush on a guy and
Yeah.
he would sign on. The
the door opening.
Oh.
Wait, my favorite. And you would, first of all, the chats were the most like bland. Sup, NM, you, NM, cool. BRB, K, bat, K, G2G, K. Like, it was all the same stuff. And so you'd have the most generic conversation, but then when you like go away for whatever reason to go get Cheetos or whatever,
Yeah.
you would have like the most passive aggressive quote in your away message. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You could like be quoting the Pussycat Dolls. And it'd be
Dude.
like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was such a highlight for me in my childhood.
so good.
As if I didn't just see them in school.
Oh, and you were like too nervous to talk to him in school.
Of course.
Yeah. Never actually had a genuine conversation.
I never had a genuine conversation with anybody in high school.
That too. Oh, you went. I always forget I didn't go to school with boys. So when you're talking about like seeing boys in school, I'm like, yeah, I remember 4th grade.
I was homeschooled.
What?
Yeah.
What grades?
I was homeschooled
What?
up until my freshman year. And then I went to a private Christian school freshman and sophomore year. And then I went to a really horrible public school for 1 year. And it was so bad that I went to an alternative school to graduate early and I got my GED. And then I moved out of Texas to LA to get the fuck out of the small town I grew up in.
You kept like,
I progressed all the way to California by 18.
yeah, you just like kept like going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What your parents, what, they homeschooled you? Why? Because they just were like,
I was in gymnastics and I was an elite level. Like I was training for the Olympics. So I had to be homeschooled. So I trained from 6 a.m. to noon. And then I had lunch from noon to 1. And then I was homeschooled from 1 to 5 for like 10 years straight.
by who?
I had a college professor. She had a PhD in English. And she taught me stuff.
Like, what do you, this is, okay, because I've always been like, because I don't want children. And I'm like, if I ever did,
Are you sure?
I couldn't be more sure.
How do you know?
Because I nannied. I raised a family. I mean, their parents were great. I should say that. They raised
Yeah.
their kids. But like, I started out with this family and they had one baby 9 months old. And when I left 8 years later, their third child was
8
4 years
years?
old. Yeah. Like I
Whoa.
went through, she was pregnant twice. And I like went through like newborn to raising these kids.
Did you live with them?
No. But I mean, I was there 9 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Whoa.
So I'm like, I don't know. But I also go back like, I just realized I'm very, I saw it. I got it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so difficult. It's so hard. Like,
It's a lot.
Even to the point of just being like, oh, we can't leave the house. It's a 23-minute ordeal to pack up the bag and put the baby in the da-da-da. And then the toddler starts screaming. And then the baby has a blowout. And you're like, I just want to go to the park and breathe fresh air. And like, you hear me. Like, I've been through it. I know. And like the fact that, and I know like, when people are like, yeah, we'll have a kid and we'll just figure it out. I'm like, no, that kid's going to be messed up. You have to spend time with the child and raise it and like spend quality time talking to it and everything else. Like you can't have a child and figure it out. Like my friends are like moving to Sweden and they're like, we might have a kid. We don't know. I'm like, no, the child, you're going to mess it up.
It's going to come out with a face tattoo.
Yes, exactly. This kid is going to be like a Swedish, like, I don't know, grunge band leader with tattoos on his eyelids. Like, I know what it takes to raise a kid and a good kid, and I'm too selfish with my time. And I love my time and my independence.
That's
and I
okay.
feel also like, not that I had a child, but I'm like, I do kind of feel like I've had pieces of the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Like, I love those kids.
Well, there's nothing wrong with not wanting kids.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times people feel like they have to defend their perspective or like their feelings about it.
Yeah.
And
Women do.
Yeah. Because it can come across like, well, why not? You know, what's wrong? Like, why isn't that for you? But I feel like it's okay to not want kids. In fact, I feel like if you don't want kids, you shouldn't have kids.
Yes, 100%. And like, but I also think like women have, that's the rough part. We actually have to truly decide. Like you have 14-year clock kind of.
Yeah.
At some point, like guys can be like, I don't know,
Whenever
maybe one day I'll have them when I'm 72. I don't know.
Robert De Niro did.
And I know. Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. And like, but we have to like, it has to be a thing you really truly process in your head. And then when you're ready, like you have to start changing your life for either way to make sure, if you want kids, like you have to like, you know, like you have to make sure you have an anchor here. Mm-hmm. And you know, then you adjust your life for the kid and everything else. And like, I mean, you know, if you're going through it, you're probably so tired right now. You probably want to take a nap right now.
Well, I've wanted to take naps since I was 10. So I feel like that hasn't changed or increased. I still want to take naps just as badly. But what I have found is how many people, like, now that I'm a mom, I have had to learn how to do my daily activities with a tiny best friend. And so grocery shopping has been my favorite experience.
Really?
I have my stroller, and on the bottom of it, I have like a basket. It's like where I put my diaper bag and all my stuff. Yeah. So when I go grocery shopping, I put things underneath the basket instead of strolling around an actual basket with a baby. I just do my stroller, and I put things in the bottom of the stroller.
Oh, wow.
And people think I'm stealing at the grocery store. Because I'll take things and I'll put them underneath this and like in a bag.
Oh,
and so people just think I'm stealing because I don't have an actual grocery cart. And I'm like,
I have Lululemon on. I'm not stealing.
I'm not stealing.
You know?
I'm just making this work.
You need to have like a sign on the back of the stroller. Not stealing.
Yeah.
Just limited storage space.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So that's been my biggest journey, is figuring out ways to make life work.
Yeah, it's and it's like if you have multiple kids, it's only gonna get more complicated. This is what I was gonna ask you because you went through that. Because I always was like, if I ever had one, then I would be like, well, I don't really want you, so I'm gonna capitalize off of you then, and like you're gonna start making me money from the get-go. And I was like, you're going to be an athlete from the get-go or a model or something. Like you
would have a model baby.
Money off of you.
You'd have a model baby.
I mean, I'd model it even if it was ugly. Like ugly babies people want to see ugly babies.
Yeah.
Halloween costumes. You want to see an ugly baby in that thing.
Be Shrek.
Be Shrek. Yes. Spirit Halloween, reach out to me. So after going through like gymnastics, would you push your child to be a professional child?
I'm not gonna push my kid to do anything.
But what if
except
your
martial arts?
Okay, that was an extreme accept.
It was also a very hard left turn that I had to make very quickly. That's because I want him to be good at self-defense. I don't want him to be the bitch boy that gets beat up. So the one thing I will push on him is self-defense.
Can we do the martial arts though that is also Zen? I feel like there's some martial arts that is real intense, and then there's some that's like, I could kill you with my pinky if I wanted to,
but I'm not going to because I'm Zen. No, totally.
Unless I absolutely need
What
to.
is that? There's this specific word for that kind of martial arts.
I think it's,
I don't know, but he's going to definitely have that. I want him, and then if he wants to quit martial arts, then he's gonna Tai Chi.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them.
Tai Chi is when you only kill if you have to, not because somebody bucks up to you at the bar.
Right. I'm going with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if he ever wants to quit, he's gonna have to fight me and prove that he can
physically fight you.
Yeah, why not? We'll see what happens. I'm always looking for a good adventure. But I'll be like, fight me. And then once he like puts me in a chokehold, I'll be like, okay. And then I will feel comfortable with him getting out of martial arts.
Okay. So if you rationalize, you're like, I had to beat the shit out of my 6-year-old to prove to him that he still needed to stay in martial arts.
think that's so funny. I can't beat the shit out of anybody.
I just look in the window and I'm like, she's so sweet. But I did see her sitting on her child the other day and saying, you will go back to school until you sit on me.
Yeah, it's just, you got to make shit fun, you know?
Yeah, I get it. But if your son was like, I want to be a professional swimmer.
That's cool.
You would be down?
Let's go.
And homeschool, like we're going to like practice every day.
If that's what he wanted to do.
So you don't regret your childhood at all?
I mean, regretting childhood.
I always
put a big umbrella underneath this.
I know. I always wondered. My parents didn't push us to do anything, and I'm always like, God, I wish we'd have had a cool something. And then you were the total opposite. You were the total extreme.
Well, I tried everything and nothing stuck. So I tried to like play guitar and I didn't like guitar. I played Sega. That didn't last very long.
What is Sega? The
Sega Genesis? The
video game?
video game?
I
don't know. I thought that was a sport when I was younger. And that didn't work out.
Mom and Dad, I want to move to Tokyo.
Yeah.
And be world championships Sega.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
That was my shit. But still, I tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
None of it worked. Soccer didn't work. But then when I started gymnastics, that I really, really liked. And then I think my parents saw an opportunity because I really, really, really wanted a college scholarship. So they were like, oh, we can save money with college if you get a college scholarship. And then I blew my knee out for the third time when I was like 16, and then that fell through. So then I sent my parents through a wild depression because all their money just went straight down the toilet. I know, it was crazy. So I moved away.
Because you just wanted to get out of it.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't be anywhere near like the sadness of like that not working out. So I went to Hollywood and I was like, I'm going to be a star.
I get it. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
What pressure on you, though?
A lot. And I was an only child. So that's also where they fucked up. I wish I would have had brothers and sisters.
Yeah, because they could have been like, well, this next one's going to be tennis.
Just for some support.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, or just like another kid to be like.
For them to talk to.
Or another kid to be like the F up.
Right?
So even if your knee blows out, you're like, well, at least I'm not like.
Yeah, Alex could do better than me. It's not all, you know.
Yeah.
Are you an only child?
No, 2 brothers.
Awesome. Are you the oldest, youngest, middle?
Middle.
Dude, I feel like you're in the sweet spot.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I always wondered what it would be like to have sisters. You know, you always see sisters and you're like, God, you have like a third arm. You know, it's also like sisters are always like so close and they have this like kinetic energy with each other. And then my brothers are like.
That is true.
My brothers are like disgusting. It's so gross. You have hair and you put lip gloss on. You're such a freak.
Do they?
Like, you don't
Are
understand.
they protective of you?
Not at all. Couldn't give a hoot less. Like my older brother, like if we do like family stuff and people like come up to me and say something about like how excited they are about my career or anything, he like rolls his eyes and doesn't even want to hear about it.
Really? How much older are they?
Older brother's 2 years older.
Okay.
Younger brother's 5 years younger. My older brother and I were pretty close, and then we kind of like now my younger brother and I are closer now because he kind of calls me and he's like sweeter. He's like a more gentle soul.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. The older brother's like, but he also lives in Alaska, and his favorite restaurant is Raceway gas station roller dogs, and his favorite.
Is he a truck driver?
No, he just is like a no, he works at the hospital, but he was like a raft guide and like an ATV mechanic. He just is like lives off the land and loves like anything extra is stupid. You know what I mean? Like paying for Botox.
I would never have pegged that as your older brother.
Oh yeah. Oh, but the other one lives in Utah too and is like a ski instructor and half the time lives in a tent and
they're
is
so
a
into
field
nature.
biologist. Yeah. But so they like I live in LA and like I am a comic and like
you're living in the real world.
They would be like, I'm living in the bullshit world. And they're like, go live in a valley and like live on a kayak for 3 days instead. See that? So they think I'm the freak show.
So are they the kind of guys that like walk around barefoot and they're like, the earth is really good for the bottom of your feet and they're chi?
They're not chi. They're just like, they want to drink Miller Lite in a river.
Okay, well, I can get down with that.
Yeah, they're not like zen. They're just like,
They're not hippie about it.
they're not hippie about it. They're just like simple. Let's climb a rock and get drunk at the top of it.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. So all this like extra stuff about me, they roll their eyes at.
Oh.
So, but
But
were
you're
all like
fun.
that.
You sound fun.
I'm so fun.
They don't sound very fun.
They are fun though. It's very weird. We like are growing up, like our parents worked all the time. So we would get home and they wouldn't be there. So we would just like our friends would come over and we'd like shit on fire and drive down the street and like go make a mudslide somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we were just kind of like rascals.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. You know, people are always like, yeah, I grew up and my parents showed me like Carlin and then we grew up on, you know, Bob Dylan and all this stuff. I'm like, we never had any culture because our parents weren't there. So we just lived in dirt and like had fun. I ran away from the cops a lot.
Really?
Yeah. But not for anything bad. We were just always unsupervised.
Yeah. Well, I feel like do you feel like your comedy pulls from your childhood or your life at all like that because of that?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. But it's always just, I just like, I talk about personal stories and everything else. But I'm always like, do you ever feel like you meet somebody and you're like, God, your parents showed you so many different worlds and exposed you to so much stuff. And my parents were just like, the lawn better be mowed. And I don't want to call from the police. And you're like, all right, see you in 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I feel like some kids now are getting more of like a worldview of things.
Yes.
And maybe it's because of social media and like they're exposed to like you can go on and like look at a travel account and see a lot of things. And then I feel like traveling now is a lot easier than it was whenever I was growing up.
Yeah.
If I was getting on a plane and going somewhere, it was like a big deal.
Yeah. I think my first flight was my grandpa remarried a Canadian woman and lived in Calgary.
Yeah.
My first flight was to Calgary. But I remember being like, getting on a plane?
Big deal.
Yeah.
Now you can travel anywhere and it's super easy.
Yeah, and you like, there's children who are like, I'm in love with a woman in Singapore at 14. And you're like, how do you, I don't even know where Singapore is on a map. How do you fall in love with somebody like that? And they like have all these relationships and TikTok best friends and everything else now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I fell in love with somebody on AOL chat. And they said it was a 14-year-old boy. It was probably a 52-year-old man, you know? But that was like my only relationships that were worldly.
Yeah.
I remember, did you ever do the chats, the AOL chats?
Like, I only did Messenger.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't in the chats.
I was in the chats, but it was like, I wanted to be a horse girl, but I wasn't.
Uh-huh.
But I would go into the horse girl chats and then lie about all the horses I had and what breeds they were and their names.
That's fun. You actually probably had to know a lot about it to do that, though.
Oh, I didn't.
You just
I
made it up?
Yeah. Oh, I ride Western and Eastern at the same time. I'm so all over the place.
I love it, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, even though you don't want kids, do you want to get married?
I don't care. Like, I'm indifferent to it. I'd be down if somebody wanted to and it was a good relationship, but I don't need to either.
Did the guy that you were with for 4 years, did you ever think he was going to propose to you?
Yeah, that's when I think I was like, I got to move on because, like, people would be like, what if, you know, if we were going somewhere and people would be like, is he going to propose to you there? And my first thought was like, oh, he better not. He better not. God, I would hate that. And that's when I was like, I should move on. This isn't fair to him.
If that's your feeling towards it, then yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Did he ever give you jewelry as a gift?
No. Yes. But it was just a necklace that said K-Biz on it, which was my old AOL screen name.
Really? Yeah.
And it was my IG name for a while, but then it broke. But that was it.
Okay.
Why? Is that a sign?
No, I'm just curious. I feel like when a guy gives a girl jewelry, it's such a symbol of love.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
But that might just be my thing too. Like when a guy gives me jewelry, I'm like, oh, because then I'm going to wear it.
Yeah. And then what if you break up? Do you still get to wear it?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Is it expensive?
Yes.
If it is expensive, for sure.
Yeah.
I still have a bracelet on from a guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this was given to me by my man now. This was given to me by a different guy. My mom made this one.
Wait.
But yeah.
What is your man now? Does he doesn't give a hoot that you wear it?
I think he's just now gonna find out. Another guy gave me this one.
Oh, you're just like, it's so cute. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's also it's expensive. It's gold and diamonds. And it's like, I'm not supposed to wear that anymore.
You're not gonna not wear that.
I'm not gonna not wear it.
No, not at all.
Maybe
Yeah,
if it was like something silver and it had like a little heart with an L, I'd be like, I'm not gonna wear
that's pretty.
your James Avery bullshit.
Yeah. You know? Wait, is this one James Avery? Somebody gave this to me. Yes. No, it's something.
James Avery is like that Christian brand. It's like a Christian brand.
Oh, no one would give me that.
Just burn right off your hand.
They know better than that. I would get an email from James Avery like, please take that off.
Please don't do any more stand-up wearing our jewelry.
Yes. Stop telling us about your tattoo of the Virgin Mary and a bucking bronco as your tramp stamp. Take that ring off.
Well, I guess for my final question, I have a dessert question that I always ask someone.
Yes.
So a guy's never proposed to you. What is the most romantic thing a guy has ever done for you?
Romantic thing a guy has ever done for me? Oh my God, it's a really good question. And I'm like, I don't think anything ever.
Really? No guy's ever done anything really romantic?
A guy flew out to yeah. A guy one time like flew out to surprise me at one of my shows at the end of the weekend, so that I would, because it was like a cross country flight back, so that I wouldn't fly back alone, and I got to like.
That's
fly out
really
with him.
nice.
I like that. I thought that was really cool and really romantic.
Was that a 2-month relationship?
Yeah. That was 3 weeks in. So we were hot and heavy.
That's awesome.
I like that. One time the Georgia guy for my birthday, that was the biggest thing, is he got us a weekend in Mexico.
Okay.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
What part of Mexico?
We did Isla Mujeres
Nice.
and then Cancun. I think we just we flipped and then just
two
went
great
to a
places in
resort.
Mexico. I like both
Yeah.
of those better than Cabo.
Yeah, it was so fun. And like, dude, I love a trip with a guy, even if we haven't been dating that long. Like a out of the country trip.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
I don't want a guy when I'm working really to be out hanging around with me. I want to have no work and like, let's go do some weird shit together.
Yeah.
Yes. I did
Where else have you traveled with a guy?
that. I went to Europe with a guy last October.
Okay. What part of Europe?
Portugal, Nantes, and Paris.
Dude, fun.
It's so fun. That's why I'm like, hey, if you want to date somebody for 3 months and we'll go to Tokyo, I'm down.
So why do most of these I know I already asked you my last question, but so what is there a common thread why these 2-month relationships don't work out? Or are you like Leonardo DiCaprio, like your time is up?
I kind of get like, I find an ick about somebody.
Okay.
And I'm like,
You can't
my
get over it.
chemical in my brain are just like the light has been turned off. The cord has been snapped. I can't turn it back on again.
Yeah.
It's something in my brain.
My ick is when people break up with me. Like,
I hate that. I hate when I'm dating somebody and they break up with me, and then I'm like, well,
Ew.
how am I supposed to date you after this?
yeah, exactly. That's my biggest ick.
That's so hard. That sucks. I hate that.
If you break up with me, it is such an ick.
Yes.
That there's no I'm sorry in the world.
Because then you have to be like, I have to break up with you now because you broke up with me.
Yeah, and I just like I can't go back
Yeah.
to you because you're so dumb.
Oh, Have
that
they
you
like
broke.
tried to get back with you?
Of course.
Of course, they see that.
I've
their ways.
never had a guy break up with me that didn't try to come back.
Really.
Never, ever. That's why it's an ick.
Yeah, I can see because you're so fantastic that they like you don't like test them because you're just like you and you're so lovely, and so then they're like they break up with you and then they realize how fantastic you were that you never made them second guess themselves, and then they come back to you.
I am so in love with someone when I date them. Like I'm a really good girlfriend, and I'm loyal, and I'm fun, and I cook, and I'm domestic, and I'm like all about someone.
Yeah.
And then I think they get scared because they see that there's like this level of commitment that they have to show up with in order to date me because I show up with that. And so I expect it. And if I'm not getting it, then I will peace out.
Really?
But before I peace out, if I'm like still in it and a guy gets cold feet and then they break up with me because they can't handle that level, that for me is like, ew.
You're the biggest idiot on the face of the planet.
Then I'm like, you're done.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Sure, go.
But that's good.
Then they're gone.
I couldn't argue with that. What an idiot.
Yeah,
What
I
a
don't-
stupid moron idiot.
It's my ick.
Yeah, I get it. No argument. Good for
Well,
you.
thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I
This
could
is so
talk
fun.
to you for so much longer.
I know, this was fun. This is easy.
Thank you for coming
This
on.
is great. Congrats.
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Where can people find you?
I am on Instagram at It's Katherine Blanford. Tour dates, everything, KatherineBlanford.com. And my special on YouTube, free 99. And it's clean if you listen to it with the sound off. It's called Catholic Cowgirl. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you for coming on. Thank you guys for tuning in to our first episode back. We'll see you next time.
First date, baby.
Are you really drinking a glass of milk with dinner?
First date, I can't wait.
You told your mom about me?
Just say you're ready.
Delete my number.